Hello and welcome to episode number 213 of the TEW 2020 Challenge Run. This is going to be Friday Night SmackDown for week 1 of February 2022. The first SmackDown of the year 2022 as we start their build to the Royal Rumble off a very newsworthy Absolute Zero pay-per-view last Sunday. Without any further ado, let's jump straight into the show. Burn it down! We're here in Las Vegas for the first SmackDown of the year, and Seth opens up after his big return at the pay-per-view, and he's like, "Do y'all miss me?" Big pop. He's like, well, let's just put something into perspective. So, Roman Reigns, he's allowed to wipe out everybody in his path and smash and stack wherever he wants. But the second I show up to try and fight him off and put him in his place, he's not here. He's not here tonight. Which seems kind of coincidental, but hey, it gives me more time to chill with you guys. So how have you been? So, Roman sort of used me back at SummerSlam, and I've been out ever since. You know, trying to rehab when you've got a new baby at home, and trying to mend someone that you trusted all these years, but you would never, because I was the backstabber, not Roman. So, it kind of is hard to physically and mentally took a toll on me. But now I'm back, and I'm here to put Roman back in his place at the Royal Rumble. I'm going to take that championship and take this god complex that he's got and burn it to the ground. Then Bivens Enterprises come out. It's just Bivens, AJ, Owens, and Omos at this point. Bivens is like, bruh, so the tribal chief that you're trying to talk to may not be here tonight, but we sure as hell are. And let me get one thing straight. You don't get to just jump to the front of the queue because you got attacked by Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. No, that's not how it works, bruh. See, the line starts and ends with AJ Styles, it starts and ends with Kevin Owens, and it starts and ends with Omos. And if you've got a problem with that, bruh, then how about you put your money where your mouth is, Mr. Friday Night, the Friday Night Messiah, and take on one of my men tonight. And Seth's like, alright, bet. So, main event, champion versus champion. Seth Rollins goes one-on-one with AJ Styles. And Roman Reigns is not here tonight, after Seth Rollins attacked him at the end of Absolute Zero. Elias is here. He says, so, the Royal Rumble is coming up, and I've heard rumours there may not be room for Elias this year. Well, why is there no room for I got one of the biggest wins over one of the top stars here on SmackDown. We haven't seen Buddy Murphy since, because he got embarrassed over the holidays by me. And Damian Priest last week, I wasn't expecting him. He got one up over on me, and if it was to be a one-on-one fair fight, I'd have put him in his place. But for now, I've written a song all about my Royal Rumble hopes. I'm going to need you to silence yourselves and shut your mouths while I perform it for you here in Las Vegas. And the lights go out and Aleister Black makes his entrance for his first match back. His first WWE match since SummerSlam. He's going to be taking on Elias. And in a 70, he bops Elias with a black mass in a minute. Well, in reality, like a couple of seconds. But 1 minute is the shortest you can go on TEW. So, just bang, he Black Masses Elias, drops him to the floor. 1, 2, 3, Black with an emphatic first match back here in WWE. 89 for Alistair, 76 for Elias. This new referee, the referee of the year guy that I signed, he has a poor referee gimmick. But it does make him look menacing. And this referee will get penalised if he jobs to a comedy character. Noted. Alistair sort of sits in the ring when... The ratings for this aren't doing really good tonight. It's because... I know it's because the match was a squash, but I expected this to do better. But Alistair's doing the thing where he's sat in the ring with the lights down, his music plays, and then we pan out and it's on being watched on screen backstage by Zelina and Andrade. Okay, it's like Zelina last week, Alistair made his intentions known that he was going to rebuild himself, and he started out by trying to attack Andrade. And what are your comments? And he's like, look, Andrade and Alistair, it's true, they go way back. He was his first opponent in WWE when he debuted back in NXT. But quite frankly, he's not going to once again make his name off the back of El Idolo. No, that's not what's going to be happening here. Because if he wants a harsh reset, it's going to be a harsh reality check for him if he wants to get back into the ring of Andrade. Because Andrade didn't need to go back to the beginning, because Andrade is the best he's ever been right now. And if I were Alistair, I'd stay away from that, because it might be a quick return home to the beginning for him. Kairi and Io, the new women's tag team champions, come out with their belts. And you deserve it, all that. They were Happy New Year. And they're issuing out an open challenge for SmackDown, not the SmackDown, just the women's tag team championships. It can be answered by a team we haven't seen in a while, that's Candy Floss and Xia Brookside, Sugar Rush. They have technically still been on the internal SmackDown roster, but I also moved them down to NXT. They're sort of working both, and I borrow them as and when needed to fill a spot on SmackDown or whatever. So, and they can still develop down in NXT as well as get more popularity down there. But they've always been internally listed still on the SmackDown roster, but we just haven't seen them for a while because they've been in NXT UK, and I haven't needed to plug in the spots for them. But they can answer the open challenge here. They can get a nice return match on SmackDown and to kick off the new year in a match that gets an 80. Io is making her case from the get-go to try and win 2022 Wrestler of the Year if she's getting 80s in matches like this. But Io and Kairi do retain. They beat... Kairi pins Candy Floss with the insane elbow. I gave Kairi the win because I feel bad for her. She always takes the L's, and I always give Io the wins, so fuck it. Kairi can get the pin here. To make the first defense of the women's tag title, it was 83 for Kairi, 94 for Io, 49 for Xia, and a 42 for Candy Floss. Then after the match, Io and Kairi hold the belts high when Shotzi and Ember, the former champions, come out and applaud them. Congratulates them on retaining, and they're like, well, we held those belts for 4 months, so we do kind of want a rematch. So how about next week you defend those championships against us yet again? And then Kairi and Io were like, okay, fine, it'll be our pleasure. So a women's tag team championship match next week on SmackDown. Io and Kairi against Shotzi and Ember. We then go backstage and RJ's overwhelmed. He's like sort of holding his ears and trying to cover away from like a big argument because you've got the Street Profits, got Subculture, you've got the Viking Raiders, and also not on screen because of limits, we've got Diamond and Mansoor. And Pierce is like, look, you all feel like you're owed opportunities at the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, and you're right to. But AJ's wrestling Seth Rollins tonight, so he can't defend the titles tonight. But here's what we will do. We'll have a Fatal 4-Way, Street Profits, Subculture, Vikings, and Madden and Mansoor. Whoever wins that Fatal 4-Way can go on next week. We'll have both tag team titles on the line. Kairi and Io can defend the women's tag team titles against... I've already forgot. Shotzi and Ember. And then, the winner of this match will face AJ and Omos for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. And they're like, yeah, that sounds lit. Fam. In a 70, a quick match... didn't have a storyline attached, which I guess is the reason and B for being short. Randy Orton beats Dijakovic in 6:52 with a RKO. This should have been so much better than it was. I'm confused. 83 for Randy and a 79 for Dijakovic. After the match, Randy grabs a microphone. He's like, "Last year at the Royal Rumble, I made history when I became a 14-time world champion when I won the WWE. No, you didn't win it at the Rumble, Randy. You defended it against Seth Rollins. Yeah. Last year at the Royal Rumble, I defended my WWE Championship in the opening match of the show. And then I went on to go on to WrestleMania to fight the Royal Rumble winner, John Cena, and defeat him in the main event of WrestleMania 2. But this year, I'm looking to tie John's record of 3 Royal Rumble victories. Stone Cold, John Cena, and Randy Orton. Because I'm officially declaring my entry into the men's Royal Rumble match." And then Damian Priest comes out. He came back from the broken ankle, obviously, last week. And he's like, "Well, Randy, good for you that you're going to be in the Rumble, but here's the thing, I'm also going to be in the Royal Rumble, and I want to win it, and it would be pretty sick to be able to eliminate the great Randy Orton and crush his dreams of becoming a 3-time Rumble winner." And Randy's like, "What the fuck you saying, bitch?" And Priest's like, No, I don't want to fight you tonight. Maybe next week I'll see you in the ring." And then Randy's like, "Oh, okay, bitch." Backstage segment, Ali and the rest of New America are in their, I guess, little New America room. I imagine it like the room where the promo was filmed. That's their base of operations. And we sort of we pan across Dabba-Kato's there, like, looking not Dabba-Kato, Babatunde Aigbesy's there, just sort of looking down, confused. Then it pans across to Kushida, he's looking confused. And then it pans across to Mia Yim, and she's looking confused. Then it pans across to Ali, who's just looking across with a smug, shit-eating grin on his face. And then we see Sammy, reluctantly a part of the group. And then he's obviously they're all in suits or whatever. And Ali's like, "See, look, it looks great on you. Now, here's what's going to happen, Sammy. It's nice to finally have you on board with the mission here. Nice to finally see that you belong in my New America. And what's going to happen is we're going to sit back and we're going to watch the wrestling. We're going to watch the world play out around us. Because just like you, there are other people that don't realise that this is the way things need to be, Sammy. And you can combat this all you want. You know I'm right. And I don't know how long it's going to take you to realise that, but you will. And quite frankly, once that happens, Sammy, we'll be unstoppable. Me, you, Babatunde, Kushida, Mia, the whole group. Nobody will be able to stop this New America from becoming a reality, and that will be a great thing for everybody. Us especially, Sammy. God bless our New America. Sammy doesn't say anything. He just sort of sits there looking all defeated the entire segment. 76 for the 4-way tag match. I actually made sure to pick the one that I made a 1-fall instead of making it be, "Oh, it's not actually elimination like I normally do." No, this is just a 1-fall match. The Street Profits win. They defeat the Viking Raiders, Subculture, and Madden and Mansoor. Montez pins Mansoor with a frog splash. 79 for Montez Ford, 75 for Angelo Dawkins, 76 for Eric, 77 for Ivar, 61 for Flash Webster, 77 for Mark Andrews, 49 for Mansoor, and a 65 for Dio. So the Street Profits will be facing AJ Styles and Omos next week for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. We've got quite the show forming already. Got that match. We've got Kyrie Neo against Shotzi and Ember. We've got Damian Priest and Randy Orton. We've got something else, I feel like. Yeah, a match that I can't say yet because we haven't had the angle. Whoa. What the fuck? Who did I rate in this? Tegan. Nice. Tegan's championship celebration. Kylie Ray introduces the new SmackDown Women's Champion, Tegan Nox. And then she comes out all happy. "You deserve it. Clap, 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 clap." And Tegan's like, obviously you've got to believe in yourself. And you don't get this far in this business without believing in yourself, but I've got to be honest, there were times where I really doubted myself. Everybody goes through it, you know. Everyone goes through the phase where they get told that they're not good enough. They get told that this is where you're meant to be, this is your level. And you start to believe them. And it really takes a toll on you mentally, you can't get any lower than that. Because you've been beaten verbally so badly. And that happened to me early on in my career, and it happened to me when I suffered my ACL tear, my second ACL tear, my third ACL tear. And it happened to me when Sasha told me that I wasn't cut out to be champion, but look at me now. You use those words as motivation, and you come out on top. Then Sasha Banks' music hits, but only Indy Hartwell comes out. She's like, Tegan, I don't mean to cause an issue, but we're gonna need the SmackDown Women's Championship back. And Tegan's like, what the fuck? No. And she's like, well, you said that you don't like being beaten down mentally, Tegan. Oh, my world is falling apart. Sasha, she won't return any of our calls. Mickey, she's gone. She turned out to be a snake. Dana's trying to solve everything. She's trying to figure out all the best solution to this, but I'm here and I'm ready to go. But I can't hear from Sasha, I don't hear from Mickey or Dana. And Tegan's like, you know, come here. It's like, is this really what you want for yourself? You're happy for this to be your role in life? Sasha, you don't need her. If she's not returning your phone calls, that could be a blessing. This is your chance to get out from this shadow. Indy, look at what happened to me. I was in the same position as you. I didn't think I'd ever make it to the top, and now I'm the SmackDown Women's Champion. So, you could be like me, or you could stay in Sasha's shadow for the rest of your life, Indy. It's all entirely up to you. And he's like, well, fuck you, bitch. The Queen demands respect, and you're not giving her respect, so I'm going to kick your ass. And Tegan's like, well, okay. 66. That's the same injury that Becky had. Nice. Tegan doesn't retain because the title's on the line. Tegan defeats Indy with a Vulture Culture Destroyer. 7:39. 70 for Tegan, 69 for Indy. Injury, of course. First injury of the new year, of course. First of many, of course. She might be out of the Rumble. I'm not sure. Depending on how well the surgery goes. But I think she probably does miss it. Apparently it was Tegan's mistake as well. Incredible scenes. What a start to life for Tegan and the SmackDown Women's title. Anyway, these 5 women are bickering about the Women's Rumble. And pissed like, ladies, I didn't call you here to argue about the Royal Rumble. Someone's going to get an opportunity before the Royal Rumble, because you see, Sasha hasn't, as Indy just said, Sasha's not been here, and we haven't heard from Sasha. And that means she won't be her rematch won't be happening if she doesn't show up, which means you need to crown a new #1 contender. So you 5 can go at it in a fatal 5-way next week, and the winner of that match will face Tegan the following week for the SmackDown Women's title. And Bianca's like, girl, I'm already in the Rumble, but I'm going to win that title. I'm going to win the belt, and I'm going to win the Rumble as well, because I don't plan on pulling myself out of the Rumble, and I'm going to beat Bianca 2 belts. And Bayley's like, well, shut up, bitch, I'm going to win. And Daniel Luna's like, well, I know you all think I'm going to lose, but let me prove you all wrong. And Alexa's like, shut up, ho, no one even cares about you. So we're in Vegas, as I said. And Corbin has sent in a video. It's like, well, like, once again, Baron Corbin's not been used on SmackDown this week. I thought leaving Bivens Enterprises would help me skyrocket my own self-worth, but I've realised that I've never been lower than I am now, which is why I'm not really got anything to do. I'm just vibing here in the casinos here in Vegas. And I guess Let's see what happens. See where the wind takes me. Because knowing my luck, it's probably not going to take me anywhere. So Corbin's just vibing in the casinos in Vegas. '98. The best match of the series so far. All 213 episodes, this is the best match we've done. Seth Rollins defeats AJ Styles in 7:31 with a curb stomp. A 98 for Seth Rollins and an 82 for AJ Styles. They've got pretty good chemistry. There wasn't even a storyline involved here. The fuck? The only negative was AJ's old and is inconsistent. But Seth Rollins gets a first win back on SmackDown in the greatest match of the save. After the match, Seth's gassed that he's just won the greatest match of all time. When he turns around and bang, he gets dropped by a super kick by Jacob Fatu. And Jimmy Uso's there, obviously being the right-hand man, gassing up Fatu, going, "Get him, Moose, let's get him, Moose." Boom. Fatu starts putting the boots to Seth. And the Tribal Chief's orders, "You're going to regret stepping up to the Tribal Chief, Oos." When Johnny Gargano runs out from the back to make the save, this Rebel Heart, bang, he super kicks Jimmy, or probably doesn't super kick him, actually probably do have him step onto the apron and then leap in and hit the DDT on Jimmy Uso. And then both Seth and Jacob Fatu hit super kicks on, not Seth and Jacob Fatu, Seth and Gargano hit super kicks on Jacob Fatu to stagger him and toss him out of the ring. And Seth sort of looks at Gargano and Johnny sort of gives him a smile. He's like, look at us, who'd have thought, to end the show. 93. I think that's the best episode of SmackDown we've done. We've actually gained in pop, which is not something weekly TVs normally do, because we normally reach that point where the shows are normally not as good as the actual popularity of the company. But what matters more than the 93 is what you thought of the show, so let me know what you thought in the comments below. And I'll see you next time for episode 214, which will be week 2 of Raw. See you then.